Yeah, so Ferry, I did a bit of research on you, and we're gonna start it off with I read a little article and it went 12-year-old who set up a technology laboratory in his parents' loft and wiretapping each room with secret microphones to be in the managing
Yeah.
director of search intelligence. Do you want to take us back to there and then how we got up to search intelligence?
Oh, that's exciting. Yes. Well, I was a bored kid, um, with big dreams. I wanted to dig a tunnel from one neighborhood to the other neighborhood. And like I was a kid, I was doing lots of crazy stuff, but I was watching a lot of Dexter's Laboratory. Do you know that
Yeah,
cartoon?
yeah, on Cartoon
Yeah,
Network.
yeah.
So I had my source of inspiration, a secret lab where I do all kind of stuff. So I've I've transformed the loft into a secret lab. Um, it was funny during summertime. It was full of wasps, so I had to kind of get the wasps out of the loft. They were stinging me all the time, so I cleaned it up and I set up a laboratory and I started studying electronics. I started
Okay.
doing like power amplifiers from transistors. I used to take apart every radio, every TV, make yeah make little widgets, sirens, like sirens and LEDs that were flashing.
Hmm.
So build them from scratch,
And
and I
I'd
started
say your
recording.
parents, I'd say your
Fun.
parents used to have problems you just taking apart more controls and everything, was it?
Yeah, all the time. Like nothing lasted for more than a week in our house. Like everything. And I was going to like the scrapyard. I used to take like the thrown away radios and cassette players as back in that time. And I used to to make inventions that never worked. Um, but at least they got me into like the technology thinking. That I think that's where the technology kind of got into my head.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, when was it you first got into SEO then?
I think it was about 2007, if I remember. I might say the dates wrong. 2007, 2008, when I actually had a different profession. I wasn't an SEO person. I was painting cars and restoring
Okay.
classic vehicles. But in the nighttime, I used to just have a blogspot blog, and I used
Okay.
to just blog. And one of my articles got picked up by Google, and it had like 1,000 something visitors like in one day. Just one article. I said, "Wow, this is so amazing! I can reach audiences with something that I write, that I create." And I felt like I'm God. I felt like I've got superpowers now.
You
Of
caught the
course, it
bug.
didn't last because the article just dropped. It was just a news kind of stuff, and then ever since then, I'm just chasing, the rush that you have when you rank and you have visitors on the site.
So that was
So
unintentional though. You started the blog spot, you seen it rank, you caught the bug, and then what? What? How did you then learn more about SEO? What was after that?
I started studying like why did my article rank and like that's when I came across of the term like search engine optimization. I realized there is a way to actually manipulate the rankings and have a website rank by your direct actions. And yeah, I just continued from there. I just researched and started coding, started learning like XML. I know Blogspot was like in XML format, and started playing with it was a combination of like HTML and XML. I can't even remember. I know I've done a lot of it,
Yeah.
like custom templates. And then coding, I started coding like JavaScript. And then, of course, CSS is not coding, but I used to play with CSS to manipulate the format of the layout of the websites. And yeah, I just
Yeah.
got more and more involved into web development and SEO.
And you said this was
See,
back in 2007 when you started to get interested in this, yeah?
2007, 2008-ish, yes.
And did you find, was there a lot of things online that you could go on? Like, because obviously now there's a lot of SEO courses and there's a lot of content. Back then, was it the same or?
There was just a few blogs. They were just talking about backlinks and content and how you have to do bold text to rank and add more keywords into your spam the articles. It was
so you've
interesting.
always been quite curious. Then you've been a tinker
Oh
from
yeah,
sounds like day one. So
yeah,
um, you must have fallen into the whole black cat thing at some point. Same with PBNs or the darker side of SEO. Is that right?
yeah. GSA was a tool. You know GSA, search engine
Yeah.
ranker. just spam the
Proper dark.
forums, spam the blogs. It was like early 2010s.
So going from that though to what you do now is the complete opposite, because what you do now is really white hat, really creative way of doing it. You essentially just assist journalists, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You assist journalists, give them an angle, and you acquire these kind of high DR publications. So when did you make the shift, and why? Did you just, is this more powerful or more enjoyable?
Last year, because I was so jealous of others. Like there were a few agencies doing it. Like, how the hell are they getting these links? I want those links. And
Yeah,
I said, we're just gonna figure it out. And then we started aggressively going into that direction, started experimenting, and we just figured it out. We just created a system that gets lots of good links now, on a almost predictable. It's never predictable with PR, but at
yeah.
least we know that if we launch like 1, 2, 3 campaigns, it will land links for our clients.
That's interesting. So it's only been a year, so I'm assuming the agencies that you've seen do it, with that people like Rise at 7, they motivated you. They motivated me, to be fair, but it's just an area I've never really delved into yet. In the beginning, did you find the ROI of these campaigns to be quite low? Was it quite hard, or did you pick it up quite quick?
Yeah, well, it was hard at the beginning. For the first month since we decided that we're gonna go for it, nothing landed, and it was depressing. Like, how are these people doing it? Like, we've seen other people saying like, oh, this week we landed, no, this month we landed, like, I don't know how many links. I said, how are they doing it? And now, like, we are in the same position, and looking back, like, wow, it's so good that we just kept on going.
Yeah. Yes. Now
Yeah,
you're picking up a lot of. I mean, I see your posts. Your posts get a lot of traction on LinkedIn, because
Yeah.
it's impressive that you've got the whole the DR90 bell. You're picking up these. I don't think I've ever acquired the DR90 link ever. I don't think.
it's exciting. It's such a
So
big rush. It's like, it's the best like feeling in the world when you land when you launch a campaign and it lands. Like, journalists, these high-tier journalists are picking it up. It's just
yeah,
the best feeling. On the flip side, you become depressed and you cry, and you wanna just, you're really depressed when they don't land. So it's not always sunshine. We have campaigns that don't land, right? Of course,
yeah,
the way we charge the clients, we always charge them, like, we guarantee a certain amount of links, and if it doesn't land, it doesn't mean like the client has just wasted the money. We have to redo another
the campaign.
campaign. So like, it's like, oh my god, like, we're starting again, and we just keep on going until we land the links. But it's really depressing. You think it's such a great campaign, and then
Perfect fit.
nothing happens. It's like, it's the worst feeling ever.
That must be quite hard to manage the office culture then, no? So I'm just thinking just now, like, how do you set KPIs for something like that? And then if someone fulfilled in those KPIs and didn't land the campaign, managing morale and ROI as well must be quite tough.
It is tough. It's that's why, like, a PR campaign costs thousands of pounds, because it's so hard to get these links. Like, I
Yeah,
know we have seen other SEO agencies and even internal marketing departments of companies doing it, and it's hard. It's like, so it's not easy to consistently, predictably land these links, and it's really hard for the people who are working on it. So even predicting an ROI, like predicting a profit on like a client budget, for us as a company, it's not easy. We do, I think we do make profit now because we have like good systems now, and some campaigns are landing in 1 day whilst other campaigns are landing in 2 weeks. But overall, I
yeah.
think it's a really good system. But some campaigns are like really hard to make money on. But it's just a part of the game. We just launch another one. Hopefully that will land quicker, and then we make the money there, that will make up for the loss on the other campaign.
So what sort of KPIs do you set for your new hires? Is it how many pitches they make, or?
We have a certain amount of campaigns that we will expect them to land as successful within the first 3 months. But it's not gonna always happen, and we are there to support the people. So we're not gonna just let them go. Like, after 3 months, we have the probation meeting, and we are not just gonna, okay, you didn't hit your KPI, we have to let you go. It's it's almost never the case. Like if we can see the people are really keen and they want to do well, then we're just going to be there and support them to become better.
Yeah, and I see as well that you're offering that you bring in students, no experience.
Yeah.
Obviously with that, going straight in and putting KPIs, like you obviously have to have like a big training ground along that. I seen as well that you offer, is it training days with pizza?
Yeah, we do.
How have you found that? Have you found it successful, kind of going in and trying to make it like a fun training?
It was good. I think a very big part of the training is getting people excited.
Yeah.
Like training should not be just information, but should also be inspiration and aspiration.
100%.
So information alone is like zero if it's not combined with fire in the soul. You know, when people get on fire and they believe they can do it, and that's why we try to provide with the training, not just the information, but also putting that fire on the people and making them believe what they are capable of, because most people are really capable of a lot of things. We just have to make them believe in themselves.
Yeah. And where did you get the inspiration for that? Were you working for somebody before that kind of had that kind of training approach as well? Or did you read a book? Or is it just been something that you've always just been interested in?
Oh, I think like I used to own, actually, like in the past, in the distant past, I used to own like a body shop, a paint and body shop. I used to have like 8 employees there.
Okay.
And I've seen that when people are excited, and the experience is almost irrelevant, and the information can be assimilated way faster. So when people are excited about something, they make magic happen. It's unbelievable. So that's where I kind of I bring this into this culture as well. Like if we can make people excited, then they will be able to pull off miracles. And we've had this on the team. Like we had like, or like we had client campaigns that didn't land, and at the end of the month we had to like renew and send the invoice, and it just happened. Like in the past week, people were excited, and we just landed the link so we can renew the client. It's always like, if people are on fire on your team, they will make miracles. It's so amazing.
Yeah. And Fery, take us through the hiring process for that then, because if you're advertising that you're wanting to hire people straight out of university, no experience, obviously you are going to have a lot of people that maybe they might have the motivation, but they might not like be able to pick up things that quick. So like obviously you're going to have the hiring process very precise. What way does that work for you?
Yeah, well, the hiring process is a work in progress.
Okay.
Even the training system is a work in progress. We have lots of, like, our systems are trying to catch up with our growth, right? So it's a never-ending process. It's never going to be perfect. But the hiring process, like, we just try to find people who are excited about digital marketing, and if they have the raw talent, if they have like the creativity, and just that fire in them, they want to become a better human, they want to become a better professional. That's what we are looking for. And then we try to give them the information and the excitement and the inspiration so that they can actually become that what they are dreaming of becoming. That's our approach. It's hard to scale with experienced people, because most of the PRs don't know how to build links. The concept of PR link building is almost inexistent out there. It's a really fresh industry, maybe 2, 3, 4 years at most, when it really started going like mainstream. And even now, it's an exotic kind of practice of building links with PR. So there's not really too many professionals out there who can actually do it. And even if they are, you would have to wait for like a month or 2 months for their notice period. So we are just bypassing this kind of block by finding excited people, talented people, and then giving them the tools to succeed in life and in their career.
One thing I noticed, obviously, Maddie and Molly, I believe their names were, you obviously promoted them internally. What did you see in them, and why did they get promoted? Was it their drive, or?
Yeah, I've seen the exactly the things that we are looking for. The excitement. I've seen the drive. They just want to do better. They just They were paying attention to the media. They were paying attention to trends. They were always coming up with ideas, and it's exactly what we are looking for in people. Yeah.
Sweet. One thing we did, Amelia, she again straight out of uni for us, and she got promoted just off of how much she cared for the company. She stayed after work to do more hours. She would be online at weird hours, even if I say don't.
Yeah.
She just had so much passion for the growth of the company, and she thrives off it too. She genuinely thrives off of seeing how much we grow. And me and her will sit down every few weeks and we like look back and reflect on where we were, because we reflect back where we were this time last year. We were so stressed out, we couldn't deal with the growth, and this year we're just going to take a few chill days off. We're way more chilled with it, and I get a lot of fulfillment out of seeing her grow, and she probably does with me too. But we both like it's so nice to reflect. You often have chats with the team, like team meetings, and go back to times where it was more tough. Talk about it, see where you have grown. How often do you reflect?
Pardon?
How often do you reflect? Like, do you do that with the team, or is it just?
Oh yeah, we always reflect. We always talk about how we started. And as you said, like, did you say you gave her a promotion based on her attitude and not just based on her experience, right?
No, Amelia had no experience really. Amelia joined as a writer, a content writer, and would just consistently deliver our content on time. She would have chats asking about how the company grew, and then I give her a few more extra managerial tasks, and it just grew from there. And so, for example, I wouldn't need to give Amelia any tasks this week. She would be on the ball, looking herself, figuring out what needs done within the company, because she cares about it. She knows where we're going, and we both will figure out what we need to do together.
And I bet, like you said, like those people go the extra mile, they put in the extra effort, but those are the happiest people on the team. Even though,
for sure.
even though they might be sometimes sad because their big expectations did not work out, right? But in general, I think people who are really dedicated to their craft, now whether at our company or at any other company, I think those are the happy people. And I'm just trying to emphasize this, like, I'm not expecting anyone to put in lots of hours or like extra hours. I'm happy with everyone. But I've seen that those people who really go the extra mile are usually proud of themselves. They earn way more. And they have like a better, I think they have a better work-life balance because let's say somebody who's putting in lots of effort, then I don't mind if they have to go to anywhere during midday and take 2 hours off, and I'm not going to have like any like objection to that, because we know they put in the effort, and they are happier. They don't feel guilty for taking half a day off sometimes. So they can actually have a better work-life balance and make work and life work together.
That was one thing we did, was implement a better work-life balance. And for example, me and Amelia before, maybe we're spending a lot more time doing something we shouldn't. And we brought that right back, like having better planning in place, learning how to structure your day, just knowing what to do within the company. So one thing I'm curious about you, with hiring all these new starts, especially ones that don't have experience in a fast-paced agency, how do you help them structure the day? How do you help them? Because sometimes you can do work, feel busy, and not actually do anything. And I've brought this up in every podcast because I really do believe it's like one of the most important things to work in an agency is being able to structure your day, planning, understanding the priority of tasks. How do you help your guys? How do you help them get through the week? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, we have managers of departments, and obviously this is also a work in progress. Like having like now we have like 30 staff members, 32 staff members, out of which about 20-ish are just PR. So it's quintessential that everyone is productive, because if you start losing money on 10 people, if you start losing £1,000 on a person per month, then it's 20 grand lost in like revenue. So it's really, I'm really kind of vocal about, let's be efficient, let's have like daily meetings. So we have like daily meetings, where are we with these tasks, what's the plan for today, how much have we achieved, so everyone is kind of feeling like accountable for the day's work. I think this is what we started doing recently, but it's still hard. Like it's hard to, and sometimes people can look like they've not worked, but then they can actually work hard behind the scenes. So you almost feel guilty for even assuming that, of course, they are now that they're not coming in office. Not everyone. I think we only had like 4 people in office today. So you almost feel guilty for even like saying like, hey, what have you done? Why have you not done this? Why did you manage to get this thing done? And then sometimes they can say, well, let me show you why. And then when they show you, you feel like guilty for like even like bringing it up.
I get that. Sometimes it's really annoying when someone has genuinely tried and they've just went the long way about it, and that's to do with us not having the right process in place.
Yes.
And you're like,
And then
I can see you've tried, but I wish you just spoke to me. And they had no idea.
We had that exactly last week. No, this last week we had this exact same thing. It took like almost a week for somebody to do something, and it should have only taken for like a day. And like, it's us. Or I almost felt like guilty for not showing them how to do this this data gathering. It happens.
I think especially you being a tinkerer, and I'm definitely the same. I like to experiment. I don't think I experiment anywhere near as much as you, but we can. I don't know. We have the mindset that allows us to figure things out really quickly, potentially. Whereas someone who's maybe not as experienced in building like their own affiliate sites, doing all that stuff, playing with Photoshop, they don't really have that mindset. So when you give them a task, it's very easy for them to do it the long way. Whereas we would, for me, if I get a task, I'm always looking to figure out how to automate
the shortest way.
Exactly. And teaching that is quite a hard thing to do.
It is.
This experience, really. So yeah, I think given how fast you're scaling, like even just building the processes and keeping them growing is quite a challenge in itself. So what's the biggest roadblock, do you think? What have you been through that's been the toughest roadblock?
The biggest roadblock now is, and I'll be honest, like maybe some of our clients will listen to this, is scaling up the communication and scaling up the training and hiring. Like communication with clients is something that we are working on. I think we have good communication, but we could because we now have like 40 plus clients now, and suddenly exploding within like a few months, just from like, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10 clients to 40 plus clients. It's a different game.
Like, Fery, I've pissed 2 clients off this week. Quite bad, to be fair. And it's been Christmas, an insane amount of orders, people been off, and it's just been a bit messy. Communication's so hard, and like especially like you said, you went from 10 to 40. And okay, tell me this then. So who communicates with clients within your team? Is it you?
It's mostly me, and Michelle, and we have the managers of departments. Like Rebecca is the content manager, Robbie is a content manager, and we have Andrew, head of PR, and Molly and Maddie, who are like the PR managers. So it's like a big. There's no centralized way to communicate with clients. We have all of our clients, or most of our clients, on Slack, but not everyone is joining Slack. So some clients are on Skype, some clients are on Slack, some clients are on email, some clients are on LinkedIn, and now sometimes we even like forget about updating a client because it's such a complex machine, right? And yes, like even today we had a discussion with a client. We delivered them like crazy links, and they were like really happy, but say like, we need to work on the communication a little bit. It's like a brilliant service, but they cannot see what's happening behind the scenes. It's like, yes, I know we are working on it. So yeah, client communication and scaling up with staff members, like getting the right people in. That's what we are now. That's the big focus now at the beginning of the next year.
Yeah, I'm literally in agreement. We're doing the exact same thing. Better hires, better processes, and better communication. Because I think the quality of our products, like it's really good. But clients, they just need to be kept in the loop. It's their money; they want to know where it's going. So, but at the same time, it's just tough. It's tough. Anyway, we're all about improving, and that's what we're working on too. And also, like, okay, how do you find? So you're big in culture and work-life balance. You've got the DR90 bell, but you've also got, what do you call it? Drunk Fridays, is that right? So you have a beer on Friday. How do you yeah. So how do you keep that in line? So tell me about Drunk Fridays.
Well, that's just that's
A
just
nickname.
it's just bringing my kind of PR out of me, because with PR you always tell a story like in the most spectacular way. It's really just beers on a
On a
Friday,
Friday, like every
right?
agency does, but you've made
Exactly,
it a nickname.
exactly. But we gave it like a sexy name, right? And it's Drunk Fridays. Nobody ever got like super drunk here. I don't even think if people got really drunk, they just have a beer or two. But I told them you can have as many as you want to. Like, I don't mind as long
Yeah,
as you land the links. We don't care. You can be a turtle, and we will employ you, and we nurture you, and we'll do anything. You can be a Christmas tree, anything. As long as you land us the links, you have your place here. You can do whatever you want, as long as you don't offend somebody else, right?
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, people can drink, people can like have the freedom to do whatever they want, as long as they land the links. When I think of course we have to draw a line, and we have to be strict. Sometimes like we need to like deliver to this client, so we expect everyone to like put in like really big effort, because sometimes we're lagging behind with links. And with PR it's normal, because you have campaigns that don't land, and then everyone's like a headless chicken. Let's serve this client, make sure they're happy, and then we do another campaign, another one. And then we have to be strict, like we have to really focus hard. I think most people are really great. Even if they drink, maybe sometimes when they have a beer, it's more creative. Yeah.
Very, I see that you have the sleep pods as well for people to take
Well, not
naps.
sleep pods. It's just a sofa upstairs
Ah,
where I was just saying to everyone, like, but nobody ever slept. Maybe I should set up like a dedicated room
mhm.
where people can sleep. Nobody took advantage of it. I said like, come upstairs and sleep. Have a nap if you want to do in daytime. It's fine.
Okay, so nobody's actually used the nap room yet, no?
No, no,
Okay.
no, no.
I did in my last agency. It wasn't called the nap room; it was called the sofa. And I enjoyed the snooze once or twice. But like, I think what I really like about you, how you structure your company is, like, we're all human. We all enjoy a little drink every now and then. We're all going to make mistakes
Yeah.
with communication. But it sounds like you've got a team that enjoys hard work as well and thrives off of getting
Yeah.
results. And that's the same in my content, pal. And if a client can't see that, because I've seen someone commented under that post actually, and I think they went, knowing that you have a drink on a Friday doesn't fulfill any confidence in me and your services. And if a client said that to me, I wouldn't work with them because
Yeah, no, I don't mind. I mean, I would even work if he would reach out to me and he would say, "Oh, I've changed my mind. I want to work with you." Okay, it's fine, whatever. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
being put off with like bad comments, or like if somebody's got an opinion, they're
yeah.
right. Yeah,
I don't know. I think my opinion is we're all human. We enjoy a little drink
yeah,
every now and then. We might need to sleep. Sometimes we don't get a good sleep the night before. I'd rather someone went and got a half an hour power nap and
100%.
I don't know, maybe they're feeling a bit ill, give them some vitamin C because you give them supplements too, right?
Oh, we bought vitamin D's. Yeah, vitamin
Yeah.
D on everyone. It's like this one.
Josh's sister has a supplement company called Earth Secret, and I've been hyping this up so much because I take them every day now, and I'm thinking about giving a management team it. It's quite expensive for the average Joe, but it's totally worth it because
Oh yeah,
it's just a blend of different supplements, and it'll just keep your immune system high, keep your energy high, help you get a good sleep. It's like um, I got a lot of benefit out of it. I want my top players to have the same benefit, and I respect that too. Um, so yeah, I think training days, DR90 bell, training, you're doing everything right. But have you had anyone in the company not take advantage of this? Someone that's joined and maybe not taking advantage of all the extras you're giving them, and how did you deal with that?
do you mean like taking advantage or not taking advantage?
Not taking advantage of. You had anyone come in, maybe not performed that well, not really took advantage of all this extra stuff. It sounds like you're doing a lot for your team. Has anyone come in and not performed or used the
Oh,
resources you're giving them?
well, we are always like, especially like new starters, we are always trying to get them to perform, and not everyone will. Like, I mean, most people will be like as you would expect. They are just out of uni, and just
So what age would they be? About 20, 22?
Yeah, 20, probably
Yeah.
20, yeah, 22, 23. So initially, like almost no one performs. Like in the first weeks, like whatever we do, like they have to learn the process, they have to learn everything.
Mhm.
And
Have you? Sorry, you go.
but then we had like outliers, but most of the people just we just level them up as we go. So we do, I mean, it's just like everywhere. There are people who are better with some things, we have people who are better with like research, and then we have people, I mean, performance is really hard to perfectly
Okay.
quantify. But we, yeah, just like every team, we have people who perform very well, and we have people who just perform like well or just okay, and it's fine. It's fine. It's I
And what?
feel almost guilty because we don't have like a proper training system in place. So I might be expecting lots of things from people who we didn't even show them like the
Mhm.
basic things yet, right?
Mhm.
So we, even though we give training, we have like lots. Well, I think we have some good training in place, but not like a solid training as I would envisage. But I am working on it now, so we hopefully can be able to launch it at the beginning of January.
And what
Um,
advice
Yeah.
would you give someone at that age, 22? So if you were to go back and give yourself at that age, what advice would you give them?
Oh, just go all in. Choose something, whether it's like SEO or link building or PR or content creation. Just aim to become the best at what you do. Don't even think about money. Like I know money is important, but like first half a year, just go and just day and night, just assimilate the information needed to make you better. Just
'Cause you're pretty
become
all in just now, aren't you?
fun.
You're pretty all in just now,
Oh
aren't
yeah,
you? Like, this
yeah,
is your baby. You've not really got any other hobbies. You're just
yeah,
search
hundred
intelligence.
percent,
That's it.
hundred
Do you think,
percent.
oh, are you are you planning on doing this for much longer? Are you planning on
Oh
like
yeah.
taking some time off, or is it going to be the next 3, 4, 5 years? It's
I would feel
100
depressed.
hours.
Yeah, I would feel depressed if I had to take the time off because I'm in the process of creation, right? I think we humans are proud and we are thriving. We feel happy when we have a sense of advancement, when we have a sense of progression. And if I would ever stop building something, then I would not feel happy because I don't have this sense of progressing with something, of growing, or even like doing something meaningful, right?
Yeah,
And I would feel depressed if I would have to take 2 years off. I know I, I would not feel good about myself. Maybe that's
mm,
just me. Maybe that's how I am. But I definitely
okay.
feel happy when I see advancement. Even if we fail at something, like who knows? Maybe next year it's just gonna be myself with one employee. Hopefully not. Hopefully we're gonna be 100. That's the
I doubt
goal.
it. I
But
doubt it.
but at least as we as long as we try and we give our best, then we should feel good about ourselves. So yeah, I would not. So the goal is actually to build our passive income sites as as like a second stream in the
Of
business.
income. Yeah. Yeah, I can see you hitting 100 staff. I think you're doing everything right. You're certainly doing everything right, keeping the team growing, giving them all the right stuff. So, yeah, it seems like you're going to grow.
I
For
hope
me,
so.
as well, passive income sites were the same too.
That's that's the
Try
holy
and
grail. Yeah.
play around with them. We're kind of expanding in other areas as well. But yeah, I think I enjoy making new brands too, and just I enjoy it. That's why we're free now. But
It's the thrill
um,
of the hyper growth at the beginning, right? Of the exponential chart when you build something and it just grows.
I enjoy getting stuck in, but then I know now, especially my content part, it's time for me to put better people in certain areas like communications. I need an account manager. It's just not me. I'm just too busy with other things. So learning that from my point of view, I need someone in that position. You ever had those days, Ferry, where like you come in, you're planning on having a really good day, and then 3, 4 hours go by and you've just not got the day, the task you had planned that day, just haven't get done. Those days depress the life out of me, and I feel really unfulfilled. Do you go through that often, or
You just described my typical day.
really? So
Yeah,
I was hoping you were going to tell me the secret for this.
no. I have the same. I have frustrate up, and you go home, you drive home, and you think like I've done nothing. I've had these things to do, and it was like 2 o'clock, and nothing's been done. And then my wife is
Yeah,
calling me, and I'm frustrated. I'm just telling her off but it's not really her fault. It's my fault for not, I don't know, for drifting into meetings that should not have happened, or like writing emails or replies that I should not do, and just time, or just browsing on LinkedIn sometimes, because we are all guilty, right? So and just time just flies away, and then the self guilt that you feel, it's just horrible. Like it just burns inside. It burns you.
It's so frustrating, and I'll start getting really grumpy when that happens too.
Yeah,
If it
so
happens a few days in a row, I'll get really grumpy.
Same.
And that's where I was hoping you were going to give me some like productivity hack or some planning hack. Or do you have a morning routine?
Morning routine. Well, kind of. I used to go to the gym in the morning, but not anymore now, with like all of this craziness happening. I'm kind of not going to the gym. I had a slight cold, but I used to go to the gym at I used to come to office at like 7:30, 7:40, have my coffee, answer some emails, get some basic tasks done. Maybe I know, look at some money stuff, or have a meeting with the developers, and then go to the gym, have a breakfast afterwards, and then just keep on going with the day. But I think it's quite unpredictable now with the new things happening. Like I cannot go to the gym, but there's no set morning routine. There's lots of room for improvement there, for sure.
I suppose like what you do as well, you have to be quite reactive sometimes too. So if something pops up and you go, well, I've got a really good idea, you have to be reactive. Surely that pushes a lot of tasks the next day or the next day. I think that would frustrate the life out of me, to be honest with you. I like a very structured day. But it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
The agency is so fast paced. It's just a challenge.
It is.
And I think like I've definitely been enjoying the finer things of life recently. And you just can't get all of that. You do need to be all in the way you are. So yeah, I need to get my head back down, be all in. I just moved to Manchester, so I'm going to be looking for an office here, and it'll be the same thing. Where are you actually based?
Based in Oxfordshire. It's a small town near Oxford called Witney.
Right.
It's how should I say it? It's big enough to have everything you need, but small enough so that people can smile at you on the streets.
I quite like that too.
I think it's a really really good balance.
Yeah.
Why did you move to Manchester? What's the goal?
All the big companies are here, so all the big brands are here.
It's mostly business related.
Potentially, I mean, I like Manchester because it's pretty much the new London, in my opinion. Anyway, London's too big; it's too scattered. Whereas Manchester, I know for a fact that everything's in one place. I could bump into the same people, not as often as you would somewhere like, I don't know, Barcelona. I would meet people walking up and down the street all the time, which I really enjoyed. But I just like that. I liked how busy it was. Also, there's a lot of young people here that are coming from the party life of it. Like, for example, Pretty Little Thing, like they have a bunch of young workers. They throw crazy office parties in the summer, and that attracts them. They're attracted to the brand, the work culture. Rise at 7 just opened an office here. I'm assuming for similar reasons. Do you know what I mean? You're close to Sheffield. There's a bunch of good agencies there. But bear in mind as well, like you're selling directly to clients. I sell to agencies, so it's good to be around all them too. So I can chat and go and say hi. So that's fun for me. I think maybe set up an office here is a really good idea.
Yeah, go for it.
And that'll be the hub. I definitely want to travel though. I definitely want to keep traveling. I get a lot of fulfillment out of that. I realized like before I was fueled by money. Which is a terrible way of like, it's just a bad idea. I find fulfillment now and meeting new people, traveling, and getting results too. So money doesn't bother me anymore, to be honest with you. As long as I'm happy and my team's happy, then that's important. I
think that's good. I think we still need, like, I'm a money guy, so I'm really like hungry for money. So I say to everyone, I love money because money just enables us to do things. It just gives us more options. So, but not that money where you work 20 hours a day for the money. It's that money when you when you have a balance, but the money still comes in, right? I think that's the money I love, when we have systems in place that generate cash flow, generate money, and we still can have like a luxurious, nice life, and hopefully the whole team can also enjoy. So I also want to reward the people who do well in the business. To if they help our clients, and they should be rewarded like big time.
Yeah, I think that's so important in this industry, but also what you do as well. A lot of the agencies are starting to watch you, watch Rise at 7, start trying to do this. For example, I've noticed as well that a lot of the older Rise at 7 team are now gone. They're now working for other agencies. So it's, if you're not giving them pay rises or looking after them or something, it's quite a lucrative market for people that have PR experience. So what you've done with the culture, I think it's important, very important. And I think that's what I want to do too. I want to have a cool office. I want to have, because we've done the working from home thing, and it's just that you can thrive off being people around you. I'm a people's person, so you need it. Yeah, you need
I
it.
think it's good. It's good to come into office, have a high five with someone, have a discussion. I think, but remote is also good. I think we have lots of people who are remote, especially now, like the in-office people are working from home. And I think the remote thing can also be made to work. But hybrid. Yep.
Do you notice a difference in the productivity from the people that are working in office rather to those that are working remote?
I could not say that. I thought it's going to be the case, but one of our biggest link earners is a remote person, full-time remote, and it's one of the most talented team members. So that kind of kills any argument of like, oh, we need the office to land great links. I think it just completely, it gives it no argument.
Yeah, like working from home, you need people that, you just need to find the right people. Like, I know a lot of people that would take advantage of it, whereas others would, because they can just put their head down and work. You need to know how to structure your day. It comes back to that. It really does. Being able to structure your day is so important.
And Fery, what way would you structure it now that a lot of people are working from home? If you're bringing in people that are students and don't have the experience, so most of that is all balanced around training and constant having like training buddies and people to ask, is there not the difficulty that if people are working remote and they're just starting up, like who do they ask? Is it just a video call away, or would you rather have them in office constantly?
No, it is like for remote, it's a video call away. And again, it's that way of making them believe in themselves. I think that's the most important thing, because when people start believing in their capabilities, that's when things are happening. So apart from the training, as I said, we have constant, like, we are trying. I'm not like, maybe some of our team members will see like, oh, I didn't have a call with anyone for like 2 weeks now, but which I'm pretty sure that it is the case. But we are trying to kind of push for more communication, more like close like friendship with the remote team, so they can feel appreciated. They can feel that we are really there for them. And I think that can help with this.
Do you get quite close, like friendshipy with your staff? Because I certainly do. Like, me and Amelia are like best friends now, and I've been advised by so many people that that's a terrible, it's a recipe for disaster. But I enjoy it. I enjoy being able to chat about things other than work with my staff.
Yeah, I think we are quite friendly. I think we talk about personal life as well with the staff members, and I talk about even my personal life with them sometimes. So I think we are trying to keep that friendly, but also like just making them understand that we are eventually a business and we need to make money. So it's a trio of like happiness. Like, it's making the employees happy, making the clients happy, but then also making some money. So how do you make that, right? If let's say you just let the team be like too, how should I say, too easy and don't have like expectations and strict timelines and so on, then then maybe the clients are not going to be happy, and maybe we're not going to make money, or maybe we're going to make we're going to have the clients happy as well, but then we're going to make even less money, because then it takes more staff members to serve the same amount of clients. On the flip side, if you're too strict with the employees and the staff members, and you just push them like over the edge, then we'll make money, we'll have happy clients, but then the staff members are going to be unhappy. So again, that's not good. So how do we find this kind of very complicated balance of making everyone happy in the loop? And eventually, it's not always like, it's never going to happen that everyone is 100% happy all the time. But I think that's the ideal situation, where this trio of like these three elements are being taken care of, and are in like, not perfect balance, but are in like a good balance.
Yeah, setting those expectations, right? What sort of expectations do you set with the clients when they join?
Well, we have a set amount of KPIs when they pay an invoice. So for every invoice, we have like a set amount of KPIs, and then we pass on those KPIs to the team members as well. So it goes down the chain, and then every person who is like, let's say I'm talking about the PR team now, they will have to match those KPIs to the clients. So that's how we work. And yeah, it's
fair. Keeping everyone aligned, it's pretty important. We just built a new system for it's almost like a grading tool, so grading each writer and then being able to align that writer with a client that suits them, as opposed to before it was just we had a few people assign content and it was almost like their judgment, whereas now it's more like, okay, this is a writer, they've just wrote 30 articles for us, I don't know, 20 of those articles are grades 3, which means they're a grade 3 writer because it's the highest percent, so they can go to a client that perhaps pays more, or we know it's maybe harder to work with, or it's maybe a harder niche or something along those lines. And it's just setting those expectations with the writer as well, the client that is there. We just pair everything together. It's a much better way of doing it.
It's a system, right? Everyone can. It's unbiased. It's unbiased. It's not like who the people like. It's based on metrics.
That's a lot of friction.
Yeah.
A lot of friction.
Yeah.
So it does. Anyway, I think we've covered quite a lot. What are you getting any questions, Josh?
Yeah, I wanted to cover LinkedIn, Fery. So on LinkedIn, you've got 18.4 thousand followers, I think it was. What advice would you give to anybody trying to build a profile?
I've got a very extreme advice. Just make people feel guilty when they read your posts. Just provide so much value that they feel like, oh my God, like I should pay for this insight. I should pay for this. This should not be free. But obviously make them guilty, make them feel guilty, like in a good way, like from a position of love, right? It's always like think of like, how can you give your best advice away for free?
Okay.
Just your best insight. Yeah.
You've made me feel guilty in this podcast. I need to up my game, Fery. So yeah,
it works. It's just the karma. Like every time you want to receive, just give. That's my philosophy. Like whenever I feel like, okay, we need more money, I'm not looking at how I can get more money. I'm just looking, how can I give something away? Because then everything else is going to be taken care of. Like giving opens up the door for receiving every time, no exception, without failure. Giving opens up the door for receiving. It just works.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. And then with your LinkedIn as well, is because the posts that you put up, you get quite a lot of engagement on it. Do you have in your head like a structured plan where you're like, I'll put up 2 posts a week, or is it just completely authentic? Oh, I think this is going to give value. I need to give this week. I need to give on that bit, and then it goes. Or what way does it work? Is it?
I only post when I'm excited about something.
Okay.
I don't have a plan. I did try to have like a plan, but it just, I don't feel so good about that. I will have like a proper plan soon. We are setting up like a filming studio downstairs and upstairs here as well in the other office to just give even more. But currently everything I do, I just post whenever I feel I have, this rush of like, wow, this is so exciting. I have to post about this. Look what I just found. Now, if I share it with one of my friends or with in the Slack, and I'm getting enthusiastic about it, I say I've got to share this on LinkedIn as well. So I just share whenever I'm excited about something. I think that's kind of reflects. It goes through to the other people. They can feel that excitement. And I was just saying to Craig, like, sometimes a post can take up to 3 hours even to post. Just getting the text, telling the story in like a really good way. Every post is like a story, right? It's like a journey of the person who reads it. So just telling the story in a way that's going to resonate with other people in the industry, it's going to help them, inspire them, and getting the right images there. So it's all like really it's more work than one would think.
Is
Sometimes,
LinkedIn your main way of gathering clients?
pardon?
Is LinkedIn your main like place where you get all your clients from, all your leads?
Yeah. People just reach out and say like, I've seen you build links. We want some links as well. So it's mostly from LinkedIn. We had one of our biggest clients is from Facebook. I just posted in some Facebook groups. I think I just posted like 5 times, and we got probably so far we got like 70 grand worth of business from that client alone. And that was through Facebook. We just had the first client from YouTube, and I'm not sure whether Twitter brought in anything, but I know for sure, like, we just had a person from YouTube watching my like link building video, and they just reached out without even looking at my LinkedIn profile, so they were not aware that I actually have a LinkedIn. So yeah, LinkedIn is the main, and then we just had YouTube and Facebook as well.
Yeah, because that's not like one issue we've got is most of our business comes from client referrals or me posting on
Outreach,
Twitter.
yeah.
So not even outreach really, mainly like me just posting on Twitter, and then they come and chat to me and then I bring them in. But that's not like a sustainable way of bringing new leads in. So you're doing really well on LinkedIn, and I can see why you're getting a lot of traction. But you must have had the stressy moments where you're like, oh, maybe I've overhired or I'm underhiring or something along those lines.
Oh, if like, do you have those moments?
Like all the time still. I'm literally just went through one there. Like last month, we grew 3 times, and like we had 3 times the amount of work in, and we did the month before from Black Friday. And I'm like, how do I manage this? And yeah, like I'll go through days where I'm absolutely
I have these anxieties all the time. Like we now have about 90 grand a month in wages to pay, about 90,000 pounds a month. So we have to bring in about 150 grand per month to make some money. So it's a, can you imagine like how I go to sleep? And we don't have like £1 million in cash reserves. If I had like £1 million in the bank, I would say, oh, it's good, I can go to sleep. But it's not the case, right? So we are always like, I'm always anxious.
Do you communicate that with your team? Because this is something that I haven't done previously, but I think I'm going to try and start giving these like financial updates and just complete transparency, because like, they'll see these big odds coming. Oh, someone's just bought 500,000 words. Then they go on the website, see how much it costs, and they go, "Oh, you just made this much," but they don't really get the hidden costs that are there.
Oh no,
so
I always share. The team knows everything.
are.
They even know how much money we have in the bank. So, I mean, I think most of them know how much money we have in the bank. They know how much every client pays. I always say, like, if let's say somebody costs, if an employee costs 2.5 grand to the business, then we expect at least 7.5 grand to be produced. At least that's where we kind of start having a business, right? Because all the costs, like, we pay on tools. I think we pay like 15 grand a month just on tools.
Expensive.
It's so if we add it up on like 30 employees, it just builds up. So yeah, the rule of thumb is a staff member who let's say, cost 2.5 grand, they must at least generate 7.5 grand to the business. And it's not always the case. I don't think it's like every company is like, we have employees who generate 15 grand a month to a business, but then we have like, especially when we try to kind of ramp their knowledge up at the beginning, they don't generate. So it's an investment from the company into people who hopefully will grow to a level where they can bring the money back. So yeah, it's a constant anxiety in this aspect as well, as you probably know how it is.
So I was always been worried about, okay, so if we share, if we're going through a dangerous period, because it's happened. I remember, like, it was only November, I think we went 3 weeks without getting new sales. We had work to
Yeah.
do, but it's still a bit like, because we're a product-based business, we're not getting those retainers in, which is why I'm kind of doing these other things now too. But it's really scary. It really is.
It is scary.
And I've always been concerned that if I put that burden on the team too, that's going to impact their productivity, because they're not getting paid to deal with the stresses that you and me are getting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was always my concern. But at the same time, I think transparency is key too. A bit of fire there to make everyone go harder, because we're a team, right? So I don't know. That's some changes we're going to make. But how do you personally cope with the anxiousness, the stress?
I just let it pass. I take lots of supplements as well, like all of like everything that you take as like a bodybuilder, like amino acids and proteins and vitamins, just to keep the brain as resilient and as strong as you can, and the body. So
you know, we need to get you hooked up in Earth Secret.
pardon?
Amy needs to get Earth Secret. This is the supplements I was telling you about, Josh's sister. We need to get her to give you a sample, because
Is it good?
Man, you need a discount code.
Oh, give it to me. I'll take it.
Yeah,
Amy needs to
100%.
If it's natural, if it's like natural and like
It's completely natural. They've got 3 products. They've got Thrive, Calm, and Sleep, and all 5 of them are completely natural botanicals. And yeah, so they launched that, I think it was last summer or just before summer. And the feedback they've got from their customers is crazy. Like, there's people saying it's life-changing. I wasn't ever able to sleep before, and it knocked me out for 8 hours.
Great.
Like, I'll forward you the stuff. I'm not pitching this, my sister,
No, I know,
but like,
of course.
it's just because you're interested in nutrition and stuff. But like,
Well,
I used to work in a nutrition store, so I would have been on 10 different supplements, and I've ditched everything. Now all I take is the vitamin D, this, and I take a bit of CBD at night as well, but that's just for muscle sorenesses and stuff. But I'll forward you the stuff. It's really, really good stuff.
That's good. I'm interested. I know, like we have to perform at our best, right? So we have to do whatever it takes to have our body and mind in great shape, which I'm failing at all the time. Like, I'm not in the best shape, but at least I'm going for it and trying. It's good.
I think we need to get Earth Secret as a sponsor for this podcast. I'll have a reward. No, I genuinely like it too. I mean, managing that anxiousness. I used to be chalk white in the face, being anxious, very, and it's horrible. And now I just take it out in the bag and take supplements, and just generally, I'm
just
not
let
really
it pass,
stressed
right?
anymore.
Just let it pass. I mean, things will work out. I mean, it's business, right? And we're trying to make people happy, make grow the business. I'm not even interested in like making a lot of money at this point, like as like personal money. I'm just pushing back. Every month I'm reinvesting tens of thousands of pounds, buying equipment, buying cameras, setting up, thinking of the next stage of the business, buying things that, like, buying even AirPods for employees everywhere. And now we are buying equipment as well. We are sending, even last week we bought like a £2,000 PC. We're sending to Dan, and we're sending, like, whoever's been like long enough at the company, we're buying them laptops. As much as we can, not like all the time, not for everyone, but like many times we are like, okay, let's see where we invest the money this month. So
so obviously you're a really positive, inspiring guy, right? And you're obviously trying to implement that into your company as much as you can, and you can see it very obviously. Where did you get the inspiration from? Is it from maybe your parents? Like, what helped build your moral compass? Was your upbringing, or was it the books that you've read, or what? Where did you get it from?
The fear of past. I think that's what drives me, because I had like a rock bottom beginning. Like, I was really poor. We didn't have things to eat for like weeks when I was like a child. grew up as like a single. My mom raised me like
Mhm.
from her pension, sick pension. So we were really poor, and people don't really know this about me, but like rock bottom poor.
Okay.
And it was just like so like I never want to see anyone going, my kids or anyone going back
You've got twins, right?
pardon?
You have twins, don't you?
Yeah, twin girls. Yeah. So it's just like going all in. I want to be um, filthy successful and filthy rich.
Mhm.
Um,
Future.
and yes, absolutely, and also provide unlimited value to everyone who is working with and who's around me, including like of course clients, employees, and of course people who know me, like people who are friends. So that's kind of my mission to become, because when you have money, you can actually, that's when you can give. When you don't have money, when you are poor, you can never help others because you cannot help yourself. So how can you help others, right? So I just want to
Yeah.
help a lot of people, and in order to help lots of people, I think I have to become really, really in a position where you can help others. And yeah, just running, not running, just making sure that the past is not going to repeat itself to anyone, my kids or my even grandkids. So that's what I think drives me, that I'm like almost naively crazy and naively ambitious. And if somebody says, um we cannot, like if I say we can hire 20 people next month, then I naively believe that we can actually do it.
Yeah, I've seen those
And
posts. They're quite cool.
yeah,
And
I mean
I'm sure
everyone
the
like, what, like it's impossible. Wait until you see me.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll fail, but at least I'm trying, right? At least I'm
Yeah.
not giving up even before I'm. So maybe next month I'm posting, oh, we hired one person, right? But at least I'm going
one.
for exactly. At
Yeah.
least we're going for it, and at least I'm
Mhm.
not giving up before I'm even starting.
What's the saying? Reach for the moon and you'll what's the
Pardon?
saying?
Pardon?
What's the saying? Reach for the moon and you'll reach the stars and you'll meet the moon. Oh, whatever. I've butchered that one. Anyway,
Mm.
definitely going to be a clip. There's a saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
I get that though. We keep saying we're going to hit 1 million words, and we've finally done it. So I was saying that for a good year, and yeah, pushed towards it, and we've done it. So you need goals, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, should we wrap this up?
One last question, Fery.
Yeah, sure.
You have one book to recommend to anyone listening that has given you the best advice, the best whatever. What one book would you recommend?
The book that really kind of got me on fire was As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
What's it
As a
called?
Man
As a
Thinketh,
Man Thinketh.
yes, it just
What's it
opens
about?
up a whole new. It's quite old. I think James Allen was like in early 1900s. It just opens up,
Yeah,
and
1903.
and that's what really kind of changed my thinking, and I realized that like there's only limitations in our minds, and it just changed like everything. The way I look at things, the way I stop victimizing myself. Like
Mhm.
it's out there. It's everything based on our beliefs, right? And if we believe enough in things, then we are more likely to achieve those things, even if we might
If you
fail.
believe, you can achieve.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you can believe, and then you have the willingness to go through the storm, because it's going to be a storm. It's not like I believe it, and like it's going to happen. Like you have to cry at nights. You have to have this dark moments where you feel like giving up, and maybe you even give up, and then try again. Uh, but eventually, if you really believe in something, then you will just keep on going after it. And that book kind of opened this up for me. And ever since then, I've read lots of other obviously books, and just watching lots of videos as well that kind of helped me go through go through a journey.
Perfect. I'm gonna get that book ordered as soon as we finish this then.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up now. I think it was a great podcast. Really,
Yeah,
really,
enjoyed it.
yeah.
Awesome.
You've definitely motivated me. If anything, I need to get this office. Going to bring in
Oh
a
yeah,
sleeping pod.
just
I want wee office go karts. No, it sounds ridiculous, but I seen it like 3 years ago. I was like, when I get an office, I'm going to get one of them. And it was some tech company in the US, and they had these little go kart things and then they would use them in their office. Sounds silly, but hey, it's funny. Also table tennis. I like table tennis. We had that in the last company I worked for, and some healthy competitive sport for the office is always good. Anyway, Fery, I'll make sure I invite you down for a beer and a game of ping pong when we get to the office.
Anytime.
Until
Anytime you pass by, come by our office. We'll get you to ring the DR90 bell.
Hey, I'm going to get one of those. Well, not a bell. I'll leave that for you. But I do want to get a DR90 link too. That's the 2022 goal.
Awesome.
Can I get one? Let's see.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, Fery, thank you so much for coming
Awesome.
on the podcast. And yeah, I had a lot of fun.
It was a pleasure.
All right. All the best. All right.
Bye. All the best. Bye, everyone.